brown cow. Brown chicken, 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 brown cow. This is fun. Brown chicken, brown cow. Brown chicken, brown cow. Welcome to the Brown Chicken Brown Cow. I am Sean Monkey McAnee. Monkey, that's what you can probably call me. And sitting here to my left, your right, or my right, your left, is...
David Loret de Mola.
Well, David, guess what?
What's going on? I
just
got pulled into this room. I have no idea what's going on.
We just sat you down, put a microphone in front of you, and told you to talk.
Well, that's exactly what I'm doing. What's going on, Sean?
Well, this month has all about performers and like burlesque and drag kings and some really, really fun stuff. Today we have something that is out of this world different. You might see this troupe, these people, this group of people at like LGBT pride parades and things like that. That's where I've seen them. Oh. I saw them, and when I first saw them, I'm like, wow, that's an incredible makeup. And we'll get into that in a moment. But I was like, wow, that is crazy and cool and amazing. Who are these people?
Now, they are the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence, specifically the San Diego chapter, if I believe.
Specifically.
Yeah, specifically.
So I know in a moment we're actually going to be talking to SisterKali.
Ooh. I believe the rest of the name is Vagilistic Expialidocious?
If you want to sing it, go right ahead.
Oh, I don't know. Do we have royalties on that?
Probably not. Probably not. But yeah, it's a lot of interesting stuff. They do a lot of positive things for the community. They do charity work. They give away money. They haven't given me any money, but they do give away money. And they do a lot of really great things for HIV and STD prevention education and a lot of things. But I think it would be best if we got SisterKali on the line so that we can start.
I would love to hear from them.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and bring SisterKali in. SisterKali, how are you doing?
Hello.
Very good, thank you.
All
Hello.
Right. Woo! Welcome to the show. This is our little menagerie and silliness dedicated to sex positivity and all things weird and wild and wonderful in this sex positive world that we live in. So welcome. Let's see here. Can you introduce yourself a little bit?
Sure. My name is SisterKali, Vagilistic Expialidocious.
Oh boy.
I'm one of the founding sisters here in the San Diego Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence, and started in 2005, and we became a fully recognized house in 2006. I also have had experience working as an HIV and STD prevention educator in my personal life prior to becoming a sister, and has since moved on to work as a spiritual counselor, where it really gave me an opportunity to take the work of a sister and expand it into my everyday life so that I can continue to carry out the mission of the sisterhood in my regular work.
I've got to know, what got you into the sisterhood to begin with? Like, what attracted you to opening your own chapter and starting that up?
Kidnapping.
Kidnapping in Shanghai. Great.
Literal or figurative?
Actually, the first time I'd ever seen the sisters, I think, actually could go back probably to the 80s when I was a teenager living in Michigan and saw, the depravity going on in San Francisco during Gay Pride Parade, and saw a sister on the TV screen and was a bit enamored and didn't know what it was, but it was certainly interesting. And then fast forward many years later, meeting sisters in person, and then an opportunity came up to get a house started in San Diego, and I was out of town actually at some Radical Fairy gatherings, and some friends said that this couldn't happen without me being a part of it. So they held a position open for me so that I could join as we were getting things started.
Okay, so
it was something that was definitely in my spirit, in my psyche somewhere. I also often will say that I believe that I was born to be a sister. So it was definitely inevitable in some twisted way.
Born to be a sister. So the sisters are very unusual, or rather original. Can you describe the costuming, then the makeup that go into the preparation to become SisterKali?
Well, the makeup usually takes about 2 hours. Our outfits we refer to as habits, and they can be anywhere from a formal habit, which would be something more for some sort of formal gala or some sort of formal occasion. Our traditional habits, which would be something that's more signature to each specific house, but having a common traditional habit, and then festive habits, which what most people see when they see a sister is more than likely in a festive habit, which can be pretty much anything from a G-string, maybe a white collar if they're feeling a little more formal, with their coronet or wimple that carries the veils.
Oh, yeah. And I noticed, like, while I was doing some research online, that the getup, it's so wild and it's wonderful and it's beautiful. And I was curious, though, how is being a sister different from drag queens and that sort of life?
Everything.
Perfect answer.
That's it. Done. Moving on to the next one.
So, right, next question. So, without getting into what my perspective is with drag, because I've never been officially a drag queen or done performance and stuff, and so my input on that would be actually lacking enough good information. But drag is often seen as performance, where the sisters, we do see ourselves as nuns. We do consider ourselves not to be drag queens, but rather drag nuns. We are nuns in clown drag. We have a mission. The Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence exist worldwide. There are houses in many other countries, and we all adhere to the same mission, which is to promulgate universal joy and expiate stigmatic guilt, which in every body language, that means to go out and promote joy and help lift the guilt off the community that's been placed on the community by outside sources. So we may do that through entertainment, through street theater. We also engage in fundraising activities and raise funds for underserved causes, populations, and things of that nature. So how we carry out our mission can vary greatly, and it's certainly not prescribed in any particular kind of box.
Okay. Let's hear. So let's change direction just a little bit, because the character of the sisters are so engaging and striking with the white makeup and the very striking clothing. And what's wonderful is that the performers or the sisters will paint and either paint over the beards. Am I right? Paint those white as well sometimes?
Sometimes. Some sisters might paint their ears white. Some sisters might wear what's called a coif, which is a tight head covering that just leaves the face out, and that often will go down and cover the neck. That's what you often would see with many traditional nuns, where all their hair is covered and then the veils are pinned on top of that. So it can vary widely. My ears are pierced and stretched to 8/16, and I have these giant tribal hoops carved out of wood that I wear. That are a gauge 7/16. They're gigantic. They're pretty much palm-sized earrings. So for me to cover my ears with a coif, I would be unable to put these wonderful earrings in, which actually helps for me. It's all part of my look. It's how I create the appearance of SisterKali And it's also how I try to present, sort of internalize my expression of the mission and how I adorn myself through my habit choices, as well as my makeup and veils, which is to really poke fun, cause question, be very controversial around issues of gender, in particular masculinity, the messages that we receive on masculinity, by exposing as many tattoos as I can. I never stuff my chest or wear a bra or depict breasts in any way. Understanding that my face, when I put makeup on it, looks very feminine, and yet I have this very long beard that goes down past a lot of my jewelry, and I don't color that. I keep that natural. So there's this juxtaposition of a lot of masculine imagery and body, along with a lot of real feminine stuff, just to help cause a lot of question what is it? What am I looking at? Is that a man or a woman? I don't know. I'm really confused. And then, ideally, causing enough question within the individual to ask, does a skirt reduce someone's masculinity?
Absolutely.
Yeah. We've actually had some pictures being shown to us while you were speaking, and yeah, it's glorious. It's absolutely glorious.
Thank you.
I was curious, though, about your name, SisterKali, Vagilistic Expialidocious. What made you name yourself that? What gave you that name? How'd you get it?
As with most good things, it often will involve lots of other people, and if it's really good, twisted relationships with deities that have wonderful senses of humor. So was actually sitting in a Beltane circle. We had a Beltane ritual, which is a ritual in spring that often celebrates fertility. And we were having our potluck while still in circle and chatting. And an individual had said that she was talking to her girlfriend and the night before, and they were talking about if something is like a penis, they call it phallic. But what is it like if it's like a vagina? To which I immediately piped in vagilistic. Mm-hmm. And then my husband then immediately piped into supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, to which I'm like, wait, hold up, there's a sister name in there. Let me get that. And I'm all SisterKali vagilistic, and then my husband jumped in and XP for Windows upgrade.
Oh no!
Alidocious.
That's
so
please tell me. Oh, I was just gonna say, please tell me there's a whole song that you've written to go with it.
Not yet. Working on it. Okay. But the SisterKali had a nice ring, but it wasn't quite it. And the next morning, I mentioned it to my sister-in-law. I'm like, I found my name, and I said it to her, and she just glanced over her shoulder and said, I would do Kali. And I kid you not, it was like a chorus of angels, ah, kind of coming over me. I do believe a light descended upon my head. There were doves. And that was the name, SisterKali vagilistic XP for Windows upgrade, Alidocious.
Oh, that's a great point. We're going to get back to this in just a second. Give me a moment. We're going to take a real quick break, and when we come back, we're going to continue with this because you're going down a crazy path.
Yeah, it's way
because
too
there's
good.
a lot of really good names out there for the sisters, and we're going to go explore some of that in a moment. So we'll be back in just a moment.
Wonderful.
Hi, guys. This is Sean Monkey McAnee, Monkey for short. You know what? If you're in town here in Sacramento, or if you're anywhere, you need to check out Midtown Moxies. They are a Sacramento burlesque troupe that is blowing my doors off. They are amazing. Generally, they have 2 shows a month. One called the Midtown Moxies and one called Moxie Crush. You need to go to midtownmoxies.com or find them on Facebook. They are amazing. They're beautiful. They're funny as hell. Trust me, I wouldn't be advertising with them if I didn't believe in them. They are freaking fantastic. Enough said. Go to midtownmoxies.com. Welcome back. You're listening to BCBC Podcast. We're having a great time here with SisterKali. And if you get a chance, go out to those advertisers because, hey, they need money. We need money. All those type of things. Everybody needs money.
It's a reciprocal system.
It is. It really is. SisterKali.
Yes.
Let's talk more about these names.
Okay.
Because I went on the San Diego Sisters, the sdsisters.org website, and there were some really interesting names out there.
Right.
Let's see here.
Well, I'm one of the only ones that has taken on the name of the Hindu goddess of destruction. Mm-hmm. I thought it was very apropos. We have a Sister Hecate, another dark goddess. So we do have a few dark goddesses in our house. Mm-hmm. There's a Notorious, who has been quite. There are many interesting sister names.
Well, like Sister Milkalot Cummings.
Yes. A lot of sexual double entendres or triple entendres or I don't know, double-jointed entendres. I'm not quite sure. The idea with sister names are hopefully to have something that's rather clever.
Like Sister Polyanal Buttercup?
Correct.
Okay.
We have a Sister Devlin.
Okay.
Do you see her on there?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see here. Yep. Sorry, the pad is coming back to me right now. Devlin?
Correct. And I have a couple of daughters. I have a daughter named Sister Livia Life.
Now, talk to me about what a daughter is. Since you popped that bubble, why don't we go there?
Okay. And I do want to say my second daughter, her name is Renaissance.
Renaissance.
A daughter, in order to enter into the sisterhood, you have to be sponsored in. And that sponsorship, I mean, somebody can come up and they express their intent to join, and that's often done in writing with a letter just saying, I would like to join. And their first level of entry is called an aspirancy. So they're aspiring to become a sister, to become a member of the sisterhood. Mm-hmm. And this could be either through the work of a sister or it could be as coming in as a guard. But that's the time in which the individual can see what we do, how we do it, and see if there's a place for them in that. And if they do find that there is a place for them and they are feeling the calling, then they can then, after a period of time, write another letter of intent to petition for elevation to postulancy. The postulancy starts them on the path of their official training. At that point, they are required to get 2 sponsors. And so they select 2 individuals of their choosing with the assistance of a mistress of novices, who helps to guide them, sort of manage their process, and the sponsors help teach them the necessary skills and things to become a sister. And if they can survive the postulancy, which is usually a few months, can be longer, can be many years, depending on the individual, they then can petition for elevation to novitiate. So the novitiate is when they actually get to officially don the veils, where they get to wear the house coronet and pin the veils, and those veils are always white. So if you've ever seen in traditional nuns, in particular with traditional Catholic nuns, where they wear black and white, and you see some nuns that have a black veil and some that have a white veil, well, the ones wearing the white veil are novitiates. Okay. And in that stage, in that level, they're beginning to do the work of a sister under the tutelage of what is called a mother. So the mother can be one of those 2 sponsors, or they can go on to choose another sister to be their mother, to possibly as an inspiration to expand their exposure to other members of the house, and their learning experience.
I just
and
love...
then once...
Oh, sorry. I just love that there are so many different names and terms. I heard one while you were speaking that I've just been sitting here chomping at the bit trying to figure out what it is. You mentioned a guard. I was wondering if you could elaborate on what that is.
Sure. So a guard often is depicted in more masculine persona. It's not etched in stone, but often more masculine persona. Guards tend to do the work of guarding the sisters. The sisters are out to spread joy, and everywhere we go, that joy is often maybe not as understood. So some people might not be as welcoming to the sisters, or someone might have strong feelings about the sisters, be they good or bad. That might put a sister in a situation where they may have to defend themselves. And this could cause a sister to be seen in the public in another light outside of that joy and that happiness. So the guards are someone that can step in those kinds of situations to help usher the sister off, to get them out of the situation that might be problematic, and sort of break it and move on. Most of the time, we really haven't had too much experience here after we started with violent confrontation. Oftentimes it's people that are just a little bit overly drunk. But depending on where people are in the world and where the sisters are, it could potentially be a violent situation. So guards tend to do their makeup more mask-like, as opposed to the sisters that do more drag-type makeup on clown white. And that mask-type appearance is enough most of the time to pause a situation. That the other person, the community member kind of ends up, pausing for a second, gives the sister just enough time to slip away,
right?
And it changes the scenario to dissipate and disengage it.
Yeah, that's a great little method that your group's developed. That's awesome. I was curious, because I see on the website there's this link, and I don't know if I'm tapping into something secret or whatnot, but there's a link for Conclave 2017. I was wondering if you could tell us what the Conclave is.
Sure. So the San Diego Sisters are hosting Conclave 2017 in November. It's culminating on a massive party event, Solidarity of None, on November 11th. It is our 11th year in the 11th month on the 11th day, but we're doing 2 weeks full of events, and officially starting Conclave on November 5th, although the week prior we do have quite a few other events as sort of the prep up-and-coming things. And Conclave is where sisters descend upon a location from all over the world, and during that time, the host city offers workshops and various things on how we do what we do. And it's sort of a convention, for lack of a more fun term, for sisters to come together and learn and participate in rejuvenating ourselves in the work that we do. But we also include the community. So it's not an insular event where it's just us meeting with us, but we also take that out into the community and engage the community, because sisters are not much if we're not engaging the community.
Fantastic. I do have a couple more questions, but we're going to take another quick break. And when we come back, get ready, because I'm going to ask you how we can start. I don't think there is one here in Sacramento. If there is, I've only seen them show up occasionally. How you actually go about starting a chapter, because this is amazing. I'm sure people want to know that. I know you have a special, there's a special reason I'm asking you this, actually. So we're going to take a break. We'll be right back. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, break. Hi guys, it's Sean Monkey McEnany from Brown Chicken Brown Cow. You know what I suggest? I suggest you go to luckybloke.com. Why? Because you can order your condoms online every month. let's say you have multiple lovers that require different types of condoms, small, medium, large. You don't have to go to the store and buy all these different condoms. You can actually order them from Lucky Bloke. Let's say you have a lover that's latex sensitive. You can get latex-free condoms in that same package with everything else. It is a fantastic program. It is a monthly service. You need to go to luckybloke.com and tell them Monkey sent you. Trust me, they know who I am.
And welcome back to the BCBC Podcast. We're here with Sisterkali, Vagilistic Expialidocious. I'm here with Sean. And Sean, you were mentioning before our break.
Who's Sean?
You?
Oh, no. Oh, Monkey.
Monkey, excuse me. I'm
Monkey.
sorry. I used your real name.
I used my real name. The agency said I shouldn't do that anymore.
Gotcha. Well, Monkey, you'd mentioned before our break there that you had some questions that you wanted to ask Sisterkali.
Well, SisterKali, I know that you really were the one of the founding members down in San Diego. Can you tell us if somebody wants to be able to start a chapter, what do they have to start doing? Who do they reach out to, and what is it? Some of the high level or informational details that they need to look around for.
Sure. In order to start a house, really all you have to do is contact any sister that you can reach out to. That sister will then likely refer you off through some contact info to the United Nun Privy Council, aka the UNPC.
The UNPC.
The UNPC. And the purpose of the UNPC is to help kind of oversee and the process of creating an aspirant house that can then later become a mission house and then a full house.
Gotcha.
The Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence is trademarked and franchised by the Mother House, which was in San Francisco, founded in 1979. And since this is something that has grown worldwide, at least for the United States and Canada, the UNPC has created a board that has members from each house that sit on that committee, basically, that help new groups get started. There's a lot of paperwork, a lot of legal things. The franchise is then gifted if they do all the things necessary to become a full house. They have their exequator, which is where they're gifted full rights and use of the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence name. Because we are official 501c3 organizations, so those are some of the paperwork that has to get filed, and you need your bylaws, policies and procedures, and all the sort of corporate legal stuff, as well as creating an individual sort of house identity through, ideally through a traditional habit and a coronet. The coronet or wimple, which are two different versions of an item worn on the head that veils are pinned to. And so each house has their own unique coronet or wimple. And so that has to be, they have to design that as well. So there's lots of little bits and things in addition to going out, putting on the makeup, going out into the community, and beginning the process of doing the work of the sisterhood.
It really does sound like a labor of love and dedication that you guys, that the group and crowd is putting into this. It's fantastic. I see here. I think you had a question. Were you looking at one?
Oh, yeah, I was looking. I was just wondering about, because it's a beautiful organization from the sounds of it. You do a lot of good work out there in the community. And I was wondering, how does being a sister influence or impact the rest of your life? Like, after someone joins, how does that change you?
Well, I can only speak for myself.
Of course.
And I would say that it has changed everything in my life. So, if anyone has ever won, say, a leather title or some sort of community title, and then you get a business card that has, your title and your name on it, and then you find that it's easier to meet people because you have this card, you have this title, it gives you an excuse to go up to a stranger and speak to them.
Oh, wait.
Sisters,
you need excuses to walk up to strangers? Oh.
Yes,
well,
I get into a lot of vans,
people.
so...
Some people, theoretic people. Picture, if you will, Sicily. So for sisters and for individuals that might feel a little bit more shy or reserved, when you put on the makeup and the habit and things, you automatically sort of green light the community to come to you or you to go to them to engage and connect. But when I started experiencing that early on, one of the things that I realized is that I could be surpassed by SisterKali, or I could allow SisterKali to bring out from in me things that are me. And that's the route that I chose, was to bring out something that was deep within and allow that to be reflected through my expression of SisterKali. So I don't see SisterKali as a caricature or a character that I've created and then I go out and perform that character, but rather a facet of who I am as a whole. So if I'm this complete diamond, SisterKali is one facet on that whole diamond. But becoming a sister allowed me to wrap all the various facets of my life into one complete diamond. And it has inspired the work that I do. It has inspired how I choose to live my life. My husband told me years ago that my sexuality is my own to do with as I please. And I found that to be a very great gift. So as a sister, I've expanded that as part of my mission, because I realized that throughout our lives, everyone tries to take a piece of that away. Whether it's, I grew up Baptist, so growing up, even just jacking off by yourself was not okay,
right.
Much less being gay, and no sex before marriage, or all the things. You get into a relationship and you can only have sex with me, or we have to do it. Everyone tries to govern it in some way. So when he passed that gift to me, I realized how huge it was, and then took that on as my mission also as a sister, to go out into our community that often gets marginalized because of the way that we love, and say that, your sexuality is your own to do with as you please. I see the Sisters as the only organization that I'm aware of in the world whose mission is to promote healthier levels of self-esteem. And this has transitioned into the work that I do and have been doing for the past 9 years at my shop called My Authentic Self, where I promote safe space for people to get in touch with who they are really, to find where they've gotten out of alignment with their center in order to bring their spirit back into alignment. So it's become how I live and breathe my life.
That is an amazing mission, and I'm really excited to actually be able to go out and see you. But I was wondering, if I was a person who was out in my community and I wanted the sisters to come to an event that I was doing, is that possible? Is there a way to do that?
Sure. You would just go to our website, and on the contacts page, just send an email to the house requesting the sisters' participation at an event or something, and then we would take that up in our meeting and plot that on our calendar. Most things we do try to fulfill, most requests. Sometimes our calendar can be a little bit full and more full at other times, but we do our best to accommodate as many requests as we can. And then if there are sisters in your various cities, then I would encourage you to go to those houses. You did mention Sacramento. There is I believe there's still a mission house. I could be wrong on that. But I know a house has been in the works, up and coming in Sacramento for quite some time. But I'm not a member of the UNPC, so I don't know where they're at in their process.
Right.
But off the top of my head, I can't remember their house name, or I would say that right now.
Oh, that's okay.
But you could probably look them up under Sacramento Sisters.
Okay.
And San Francisco, I think on our website we may have a page that has various houses listed. The San Francisco Sisters website I believe, has all the houses, mission houses and aspirant houses listed on their website.
Oh, perfect. So people can go to that website and find out about if there's a house near them, so to speak.
Correct.
Cool.
Wait.
Sisters.org.
Just sisters.org.
The Sisters.
thesisters.org if you're looking to go to the to visit the main site.
A little birdie just passed me a note. The Sacramento Sisters are the Capital City Sisters.
Oh, wonderful.
Sisters.
Of course.
I'll have to look them up.
You would make a great sister.
I wear a mask when I perform, and it's all gold. It sounds like an amazing thing. Yeah.
Your mask is gold?
Yeah, I've got a gold mask. I wear a gold.
Do you have
hood,
it with you today?
I don't.
You don't carry your gold mask around?
No, I don't.
You wear a gold mask as you perform. Now I'm intrigued.
Yeah, it's not to get into myself too much because we're here to talk about you, but I wear this gold spirit hood with a gold chain and then a gold mask and gold fingerless gloves. And yeah, I just kind of go out and I do my spoken word, and yeah, that's as short as I can put it.
There we go. There we go.
And so the Capital City Sisters, their website is capitalcitysisters.org.
Fantastic. So, wow, you went through like all of my questions, and even though you answered questions I didn't even have a chance to ask. You are amazing.
Yes,
That's fantastic.
yes.
Thank you.
Are you planning an appearance anytime soon?
Am I doing what?
Do you have an appearance? I just washed my lips and I can't do a thing with them. So, do you have an appearance coming up down in San Diego?
We have a lot of things on the calendar. I tend to work in the evenings with my job. So so that tends to kind of run into some of the sister event stuff. So I have to plot my calendar strategically. You can go to our website, sdsisters.org, and see a calendar of events that we're participating in. I am gearing up a lot of my time and attention for Conclave. Part of my participation in Conclave is more spiritual related. So I will be doing some workshops on that was Zen, this is Tao. Looking at where we were when we started, taking some, the history here. Let me back up for a second. The history of the sisters, as I see it, is mythos. So I'll be dipping into some of that mythos, applying some of my own storytelling to that, and then pulling us forward into our current political climate and how that is important. Because how I see the sisters is much like Hayoka. In the Lakota tribe, Hayoka was the sacred clown, and the sacred clown, the Hayoka worked, there were a particular type of shaman that worked with very powerful magic. This was Thunderbird magic. And they lived contrary. So if they were male, they dressed female. If they were female, they dressed male. They lived contrary to day-to-day life as well. And they functioned as an opportunity to shatter the boxes, to shatter the confines of the experience that an individual or a tribe might be in, to break them out of the complacency and to allow laughter to move things forward. And I like to believe that the founding sisters had some familiarity with that when they founded the sisterhood in 1979. I don't know if they did, but there's certainly a spirit of inspiration that resonates between the two. So I really see our work as a sister as the sacred clown. And considering today's political climate, I think we are called to order in a much greater way now. The community needs to be able to laugh at itself, to be able to move beyond the fear that's been fed to us over the last several years, and move into a greater place of joy. And hopefully through that laughter and joy, we can find what our truth is, find that place where that sense of insecurity has been hiding, in order to move that out into a healthier level of self-esteem as a community as a whole. I think what we have in the presidency, not to get too political, but what we have sitting in the presidency right now, the person aside, because that's a bit too much, but I see him as a caricature of the human ego self when it goes unchecked. And so the sisters get to go up and battle against the who we think we are based on some of our life experience. And hopefully through our experience to provoke emotional responses from the community that cause them to ideally question who are they really? Why do we choose what we choose? Are we living our lives freely? Are we loving freely? Are we not only accepting ourselves wholly, but accepting those that we are with wholly?
That is amazing. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
SisterKali, thank you for your time. Thank you for sharing and exploring this with us, because you taught me so much about the organization today. And I hope our listeners and my co-host here, who I don't know what he's doing, because we both came into this with open minds and open hearts, and that's what I hope everybody does when they come to learn something new in this community and in the greater world.
True.
So,
wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah. So, we're going to post all the things, give you all of your links, and give all how people can get in touch with you. And I believe you're going to be back on the show at a later time talking about other topics, because you are an incredibly interesting person.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
thank you.
So thank you very much. And
we didn't even get into the kinky stuff.
That's a different show entirely.
Hello,
kinky stuff.
Yeah, and thank you so much for coming on. Seriously, I learned a whole hell of a lot.
All right. This is Sean Monkey McEnany.
And I'm David Lorette Mola.
This has been Brown Chicken, Brown Cow. Please remember to find us online on all of your podcast locations. Subscribe. Subscribe means so much to us. Also, go out to patreon.com/BCBC Podcast. The professor is trying to push the button right now, so I'm just going to keep talking. And remember, go out to our Facebook page, Facebook.com/BCBC Podcast. Give us a like. And don't forget, also go out to YouTube. Watch our channel, because we actually do have a live show that we also record. So, well, semi-live. Who's alive? What? She's the madam's now looking at me.
It's live when we record it.
Live-ish.
And then we post it on after we've recorded it.
So there's editing and
editing involved. But it was live in the moment when I spoke words out of my mouth.
Live to tape.
Live to tape.
Live to tape. Anyway, we will catch you next time. This is Monkey.
And I'm David.
We'll see you next time. Bye. Hi guys, this is Sean Monkey McEnany, Monkey for short. What you need to know now is that Brown Chicken, Brown Cow needs your love. It needs your help, and personally, we could use your money. But short of that, what you need to do is go out and like our Facebook page. Number 2, give us a review on whatever podcast ability you have. Go out to iTunes, go out to Google Play, give us a good review, because that helps. Number 3, subscribe. Subscribe to our podcast, because that helps our numbers, helps us with advertisers, helps us with everything. It makes us look good, actually. And number 4, and this is very important, come close to the speaker. It's fantastic. You can go out to Patreon and support us on Patreon. That's patreon.com/BCBC Podcast. You can support us at whatever level of support you think you can manage. I don't want you to give us money if you can't do it, but I want you to give us some money, and we'll give you back some love as well. We'll give you back some stuff. We'll talk about you on the radio. Who knows? But in the end, supporting us helps keep the show going. Subscribing to the podcast gives us better numbers. And liking our Facebook page, guess what? You always know when the show's coming. So, this is Monkey. You're you. We are together. Cuckoo-cuckoo. Fantastic. See you on the next show.
Brown chicken, brown cow.
Brown chicken, brown cow. Brown chicken, brown cow. Brown chicken, brown cow. Brown chicken, brown cow. Brown chicken, brown cow. Brown chicken, brown cow. This is fun. Brown chicken, brown cow.
Brown chicken, brown cow.